Good morning, good morning, good morning to you. Good morning, how do you do? Good morning, good morning, good morning to you. And you and you and you and you and you and you and you.
Welcome to my learning circle. I'm Miss Connie and I'm so glad that you're here with me today so that we can learn more about our comparing words together. We've been learning all about our different words that we can use to compare things, to describe things. When we look at one thing against another thing and be able to describe what we see that is the same and what we see that's different. But before we learn a new comparing word together today, let's get our wiggles out. Show me your wiggling fingers. Very good. And now shake your arms and roll your neck. And now we're ready to begin. Today we are learning about our comparing word, less. This is the word less. Can you say that with me? This is the word less. Very good. I'm going to put it on our board so that we can focus on it and learn a little bit more about it together. So the word less is the opposite of the word more. And when we said something is the opposite of something else, we said that means that they mean two different things. Our word more, we learned, means that it has a bigger number. What do you think less means if it's the opposite of more, if it's different than more? If you said that it means that it has a smaller number, you are correct. That is our definition of the word less. It means that it has a smaller number. Can you say it with me? All right, here we go. Less means we have a smaller number. Very good. All right, let's get ready to look at our word less and see what else we can learn about our word less. We can spell our word less just like this. L-E-S-S. Can you spell it with me? L-E-S-S. And what does that spell? Less. Very good. And what does less mean? Less means that there is a smaller number. Very good. I have a few toys for us to look at and compare and see which one has less. Let's start with, I have a couple of Pokeballs here. In this hand, I have how many Pokeballs? Very good. I have one blue Pokeball. And in this hand, how many red Pokeballs do I have? I have 1, 2. Very good. So we have 2 red Pokeballs in this hand and 1 blue Pokeball in this hand. We want to know which hand is holding less Pokeballs. And we said that less means what? It's a smaller number. Very good. So which one has a smaller number of Pokeballs? Which one has less? If you said this hand is holding the 1 blue Pokeball has less, you're correct because 1 is a smaller number than 2. Very good. Let's see if we can do it with my dinosaur toys. I have 2 pterodactyl dinosaur toys. And I have 1, 2, 3 T-Rex dinosaurs. which hand is holding less? Which dinosaurs do we have a smaller number of? The one with 3 T-Rex dinosaurs or the one with 2 pterodactyl dinosaurs? If you said our pterodactyl dinosaurs is less than our T-Rex dinosaurs, you are correct, because our number 2 is a smaller number than our number 3. Very good. Our number 2 is less than our number 3. Awesome job. Let's see if we can draw a few pictures to help us think about our concept of less and learn a little bit more about it together. So I think what we'll do this time, let's draw a couple of trees. Give them some green leaves. And I think we should make our trees apple trees. What do you think? Okay, so I'm going to draw some apples on this tree, some apples on this tree, and then we are going to compare them together. Okay. Can you help me count how many apples we have on our first tree over here? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 apples on this tree. So I'm going to draw our number 4 right here on our tree, so we know that, hey, we have 4 apples on this tree. Now let's count our second tree and see how many apples are on this tree. Here we go. 1, 2. How many apples are on our second tree? 2. Very good. So we're going to draw or write our number 2 right there. And we learned that we can use a number line to help us look at and see how many we have of something, whether or not we have more or less. If we can use it for more, that means we can use it for less, because they mean the opposite of each other. So let's draw our number line up here again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And for this tree, I'm going to use red for this tree and green for this tree, so we can see what number we're looking at and where our number is on our number line. So our red tree has 4 apples. So let's count over on our number line. We always start over here at our 0. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, there's our number 4. So we're going to circle it with our red marker because we are talking about our red tree. Now let's get ready to talk about our green tree. Our green tree, we said it has how many apples? 2 apples. So we start over here at our 0 on our number line, and let's count up to our number 2. 1, 2. There's our number 2. Now we're going to circle it with our green marker because we're talking about our green tree. When we were talking about more, we said that the further you go on the line, the bigger the number, right? But when we are talking about less, we are wanting a smaller number, right? So if it's over here, it's more, what does that mean if it's closer to this side, closer to the 0? That means that it's less. So let's look at our numbers for our red and green tree. Our green tree has 2 apples, and we circled our 2 with our green. Our red tree has 4 apples, and we circled our 4 with our red. We want to know which one has less, which one has a smaller number. And for smaller numbers, we want to know what is closest to our 0. So we are going to start at our 0, and we are going to walk our finger over until we get to one of those numbers. Here we go. Look at that, we made it to our 2. Before we got to our 4, our 2 is closer to 0. Our 2 is less than 4 because our 2 is a smaller number than 4. So our green tree has less apples than our red tree. Now let's get ready to look at our groups of shapes over here and see if we can find out which group has less. Today we are looking at groups by color. So let's see which group of different colored shapes has less. Down here we have all of our blue shapes. And let's count them and see how many blue shapes we have. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we have 3 blue shapes. And then we have our group of red shapes. 1, 2. 2 red shapes. And then we have our group of green shapes up here all by itself. We have 1. And let's reuse our number line over here. Take our circles off. And let's see where all of these numbers fall on our number line so we can see which one has less. So we have 3 blue shapes. We'll use our blue marker. We'll start at our 0. 1, 2, 3. There's our number 3. We're going to circle it with our blue marker. And then we have our red shapes. We said 2 of them. So we're going to use our red marker. Start at our 0. 1, 2. There's our number 2, we'll circle it with our red. And then we have our green shapes up here. We said there is 1. So we're going to use our green marker. Start at our 0, 1. There's our number 1. Now, we are looking for the group of shapes that has less. The group of shapes that has a smaller number. So we want to find the group of shapes that is closest to our 0, because the closer you are to 0, the smaller your number is. And if we go across, look at that. We get to our number 1 that we circled with our green color for our green group first before we get to any of the other colors. That means that our group of green shapes that only has 1 shape in it is closest to our 0. That means that there are less green shapes than there are red shapes. There are less green shapes than there are blue shapes. We have less green shapes than we do all the other shapes. Thank you so much for for coming and learning more about our comparing words with me today and about our concept of less. We learned that less means that it is a smaller number. And it's the opposite of more, which means it's a bigger number. And we can look at our number of things and put it on our number line to help us see how close our numbers are, our groups are to the number 0, because the closer you are to 0, the less it is. And you helped me see that we have 4 apples and 2 apples, and that 2 is less than 4 because 2 is closer to our 0 than 4 is. And you helped us find our group of green shapes were less than all of the other shapes because there was only 1, and 1 is right there beside 0. It's less than our 2 and less than our 3. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.